Hey guys, I'm back from my hibernation once again. I've been really busy with college and other personal matters, so I apologize for not uploading. With that being said, I'm back to go over the switch hit style. This style is actually my new main and my new favorite style in the entire game. If you aren't aware, I'm going to go over every style in the game eventually, so like and subscribe to stay tuned. Let's get into it. Switch hit is a mythic style in the game. No matter from left or right, the ASURA sees all. Being ambidextrous allows you to control the direction of your punches with your own movement, in exchange for dash mobility. Your ability is static. Disrupt your opponent's rhythm by cancelling their perfect dodge or inverting their controls. Switch hit has average stats, but low mobility. Switch hit is a very unique style with its passive ability called ambidextrous, which I will go over shortly. It also has a special ability called static. Switch hit has so much potential because of its abilities. Let's go over the moveset. Switch hit technically has two movesets in the forms of stances, orthodox and southpaw. Moving left or right determines which stance you take. Moving left makes you assume the orthodox stance. Moving right makes you assume the southpaw stance. These stances both have different stats and uses. For the orthodox stance, your light only comes from the left and your heavy only comes from the right. The orthodox stance has more range and speed but deals less damage, and its heavy attack doesn't do permanent damage. In southpaw, your light only comes from the right and your heavy only comes from the left. The southpaw stance deals more damage but has less range and speed. Switching between these stances is crucial for using switch hit to its greatest potential. Now for some techs and strategies. Switch hit can be most effectively used as a boxer puncher. Switch hit's play is mix-up intensive, focusing on confusing and deceiving your opponent. You must learn what stances to take in certain situations and where your punches are coming from. Hitting counters while also being aggressive is a must. Stance switching between combos is very crucial as well. You must always switch between southpaw and orthodox to confuse your opponent. Use orthodox to catch your opponents from afar, using the stance's longer range to your advantage. Southpaw is your main damage source. Using both of these stances to drain your opponent's guard is essential to pressure them. Switching between orthodox and southpaw between combos may sound simple, but if used incorrectly, it can become very predictable. To use switch hit's mix-ups effectively, use the tech that I call the Ghost Stagger. Ghost staggering is when you stay on a stance and stagger your lights. This makes your light attacks only come from one side for a bit, just like Ghost's light attack. You then build up your mix-ups from there. As you can see from this footage, I am switching between orthodox and southpaw after Ghost staggering. Another tech that you should use is what I call quick stancing. Quick stancing is when you very quickly change your stance to throw a heavy attack from the opposite stance. This may throw people off guard because if you Ghost stagger, they expect another light from the same side, except you throw a heavy. It's great for roll catching. Now, let's talk about switch hit's special ability, static. Static can be used in two ways. It can be used when you get perfect dodge to cancel it completely, or it can be used in neutral to flip every one of your opponent's inputs. It charges when your opponent dashes, and fully charges when they dash 15 times. Now, depending on the situation, use static wisely. If your opponent is low health, using static in neutral may throw them off enough for you to finish them off. They might not be able to adapt to the input flip in time to defend themselves. You can also use static in neutral when you have your ult to get some damage in while they are confused to hit your ult. Now, using it when you are perfect dodged is all up to you. You can use it late into the PD, so you have about 1 second to decide to use it or not. Definitely use it when you are low health to prevent losing even more. I also use it when I am half health, as a PD static can save you from being ulted. I don't have any footage of this, but there are many times I saved myself from being knocked down by an ult by cancelling it with static. Speaking of the ult, switch hit's ult does 50% damage. Before we get into the ratings, let's see switch hit in action. let's get on to the ratings. Switch Hit gets a 3 out of 5 on the difficulty rating. It is a bit hard to learn how to use and takes a bit of game knowledge to change your strategies, but once you fully learn it, everything clicks and it becomes second nature. For this, it isn't hard, but it isn't easy either. For the enjoyability rating, Switch Hit gets a 4 out of 5. Switch Hit is fun to use. Being a mix-up intensive style, switching between your stances and confusing your opponent is pretty fun. Its ult is pretty cool as well. For me, the enjoyability rating is probably 100 out of 5. It's so good. And for the tier list, Switch Hit goes in mid-A. That's it for this style. I hope you enjoyed. I love Switch Hit, and I don't care that it's a bit worse than other styles. I genuinely have fun playing with it. Anyway, I am uncertain to what the next guide will be, but I will definitely get to the Trickster video essay soon. Alright, until next time guys. Peace.